The two captive policemen, Inspector Hukam Singh and Sub-Inspector Gular Singh, were being pushed unceremoniously along the dusty, deserted, sun-drenched road. The people of the village had made themselves scarce. They would reappear only when the dacoits went away. The leader of the dacoit gang was Mangal Singh Bundela, great-grandson of a Pindari adventurer who had been a thorn in the side of the British. Mangal was doing his best to be a thorn in the flesh of his own government. The local police force had been strengthened recently, but it was still inadequate for dealing with the dacoits who knew the ravines better than any surveyor. The dacoit Mangal had made a fortune out of ransom. His chief victims were the sons of wealthy industrialists, moneylenders or landowners. But today he had captured two police officials, of no value as far as ransom went, but prestigious prisoners who could be put to other uses. Mangal Singh wanted to show off in front of the police. He would kill at least one of them. His reputation demanded it, but he would let the other go, in order that his legendary power and ruthlessness be given a maximum publicity. A legend is always a help. His red and green turban was tied rakishly to one side. His dhoti extended right down to his ankles. His slippers were embroidered with gold and silver thread. His weapon was no ancient matchlock, but a well-greased .303 rifle. Two of his men had similar rifles. Some had revolvers. Only the smaller fry carried swords or country-made pistols. Mangal Singh's gang, though traditional in many ways, was up-to-date in the matter of weapons. Right now they had the policemen's guns too. "Come along, Inspector Sahib," said Mangal Singh, in tones of police barbarity, tugging at the rope that encircled the stout inspector's midriff. "Had you captured me today, you would have been a hero. You would have taken all the credit, even though you could not keep up with your men in the ravines. Too bad you chose to remain sitting in your jeep with the sub-inspector. The jeep will be useful to us, you will not. But I would like you to be a hero all the same, and there is none better than a dead hero." Mangal Singh's followers doubled up with laughter. They loved their leader's cruel sense of humor. "As for you, Gular Singh," he continued, giving his attention to the sub-inspector, "you are a man from my own village. You should have joined me long ago. But you were never to be trusted. You thought there would be better pickings in the police. Didn't you?" Gular Singh said nothing, simply hung his head and wondered what his fate would be. He felt certain that Mangal Singh would devise some diabolical and fiendish method of dealing with his captives. Gular Singh's only hope was Constable Ghanshyam, who hadn't been caught by the dacoits because, at the time of the ambush, he had been in the bushes relieving himself. "To the mango Tope," said Mangal Singh, prodding the policeman forward. "Listen to me, Mangal," said the perspiring inspector, who was ready to try anything to get out of his predicament. "Let me go, and I give you my word there will be no trouble for you in this area as long as I am posted here. What could be more convenient than that?" "Nothing," said Mangal Singh. "But your word isn't good. My word is different. I have told my men that I will hang you at the mango Tope, and I mean to keep my word. But I believe in fair play. I like a little sport. You may yet go free if your friend here, Sub-Inspector Gular Singh, has his wits about him. The inspector and his subordinate exchanged doubtful, puzzled looks. They were not to remain puzzled for long. On reaching the mango tope, the dacoits produced a good, strong hempen rope, one end looped into a slipknot. Many a garland of marigolds had the inspector received during his mediocre career. Now, for the first time, he was being garlanded with the hangman's noose. He had seen hangings, he had rather enjoyed them. But he had no stomach for his own. The inspector begged for mercy. Who wouldn't have? In his position? Be quiet, commanded Mangal Singh. I do not want to know about your wife and your children and the manner in which they will starve. You shot my son last year. Not I, cried the inspector. It was some other. You led the party. But now, just to show you that I'm a sporting fellow, I am going to have you strung up from this tree, and then I am going to give Gular Singh 6 shots with a rifle, and if he can sever the rope that suspends you before you are dead, well then, you can remain alive and I will let you go. For your sake, I hope the sub-inspector's aim is good. He will have to shoot fast. My man Fambiri, who has made this news, was once executioner in a city jail. He guarantees that you won't last more than 15 seconds at the end of his rope. Gular Singh was taken to a spot about 40 yards. A rifle was thrust into his hands. Two dacoits clambered into the branches of the mango tree. The inspector, his hands tied behind, could only gaze at them in horror. His mouth opened and shut as though he already had need of more air. And then, suddenly, the rope went taut, up went the inspector, his throat caught in a vise, while the branch of the tree shook and mango blossoms fluttered to the ground. The inspector dangled from the rope, his feet about 3 feet above the ground. You can shoot, said Mangal Singh, nodding to the sub-inspector. And Gular Singh, his hands trembling a little, raised the rifle to his shoulder and fired 3 shots in rapid succession. But the rope was swinging violently and the inspector's body was jerking about like a fish on a hook. The bullets went wide. Gular Singh found the magazine empty. He reloaded, wiped the stinging sweat from his eyes, raised the rifle again, took more careful aim. His hands were steadier now. He rested the sights on the upper portion of the rope, where there was less motion. Normally he was a good shot, but he had never been asked to demonstrate his skill in circumstances such as these. The inspector still gyrated at the end of his rope. There was life in him yet. His face was purple. The world, in those choking moments, was a medley of upside-down roofs. And the red sun spinning slowly towards him. Gular Singh's rifle cracked again. An inch or two wide this time. But the 5th shot found its mark, sending small tufts of rope winging into the air. The shot did not sever the rope, it was only a nick. Gular Singh had 1 shot left. He was quite calm. The rifle sight followed the ropes. Swing, less agitated now that the inspector's convulsions were lessening. Gular Singh felt sure he could sever the rope this time. And then, as his finger touched the trigger, an odd, disturbing thought slipped into his mind. Hung there, throbbing, whose life are you trying to save? Hukam Singh has stood in the way of your promotion more than once. He had you charge-sheeted for accepting 50 rupees from an unlicensed rickshaw puller. He makes you do all the dirty work. blames you when things go wrong, takes the credit when there is credit to be taken. But for him, you'd be an inspector. The rope swayed slightly to the right. The rifle moved just a fraction to the left. The last shot rang out, clipping a sliver of bark from the mango tree. The inspector was dead when they cut him down. Bad luck, said Mangal Singh Bundela. You nearly saved him. But the next time I catch up with you, Gular Singh, it will be your turn to hang from the mango tree. So, keep well away. You know that I am a man of my word. I keep it now, by giving you your freedom. A few minutes later the party of dacoits had melted away into the late afternoon shadows of the scrub forest. There was the sound of a jeep starting up. Then silence, silence so profound that it seemed to be shouting in Gular Singh's ears. As the village people began to trickle out of their houses, Constable Ghanshyam appeared as if from nowhere, swearing that he had lost his way in the jungle. Several people had seen the incident from their windows. They were unanimous in praising the sub-inspector for his brave attempt to save his superior's life. He had done his best. It is true, thought Gular Singh. I did my best. That moment of hesitation before the last shot, the question that had suddenly reared up in the darkness of his mind, had already gone from his memory. We remember only what we want to remember. I did my best, he told everyone. And so he had.